Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show here as we are coming to you live from the Jeeves Law Group studio in beautiful South Tampa. And my good friend Tim Ham recovering from his illness and his swollen hand and everything else that happens to you in our
looking better
Stream Sports DFW studio. What's up, my friend? How are you?
The misadventures of IndyCar, Tim.
Right. That's always fun to talk about. Man, we got so much.
Had a big misadventure at the AAC and the Stars last night.
How about that? You were just telling me about this. The pre-show was quite eventful, folks.
Good God.
The Dallas, we got Ray's stuff to get to. We got Lightning stuff to get to, Buck stuff to get to. We're going to head out to the Masters. Bob Harig, Sports Illustrated, longtime ESPN golf writer, is going to join us live for the Masters at 10:15. Johnny Gerber is going to give us his picks. We're hoping to have Titus O'Neill on. He just texted me and said he's got to move to tomorrow. So I apologize for that, but he will join us tomorrow as he celebrates the Gators' big Natty. People still talking about that. So we will get to all of it today. Whatever you guys want to bring to the table, obviously, put it in the comments section. You could do that on our YouTube feed, also on our X feed, our Facebook feed as well. So many ways to interact with the show. You have to explain what happened at Dallas last night. I don't think I've ever seen this before in hockey. I've heard about it, but I don't think I've ever seen it. And it's one of the reasons I know a lot of Lightning fans get upset at John Cooper sometimes for taking Vasi out of the net a little early, but you never know what's going to happen in a hockey game. What happened last night?
So Stars are dominating Vancouver. They're up 4-2 with and they score an empty net goal with about a minute and a half left in the game. It was scored at about 18:30, right? You're feeling good. It's 5-2. Vancouver's done nothing offensively all day. So I turned it off. I switched over to something else and getting ready for bed. And then ding, my phone goes off. Vancouver scores at 1900 in the third. I'm like, oh, man, they got one fast. Okay, cool, whatever.
5-3.
5-3. We're good. And, about 30 seconds later, ding, my phone goes off again.
Uh-oh.
Vancouver scored. I'm like, oh, man, why are they doubling up notifications on my, I hate when they do that. And then I see, oh, no, it's 5-4. They scored.
Yikes.
At 19:30 of the third period.
30 seconds later with the
30 seconds later with an empty net with the man advantage.
So 30 seconds. You got to hold on for 30 seconds.
30 seconds with a goal lead. You've been fine. Look, it's the Stars. Defense is top notch. Nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Ding.
Yes.
At 1948, Vancouver scores. 12 seconds left in the game. Tie the game at 5. And I'm like, Stars, just lose it now. Just let them score and screw that point. I don't care. Nope. It goes into overtime where Vancouver wins in overtime with just a ridiculous shot from the point. And the Stars lose a game that they were up 5-2 with a minute remaining in the game.
Holy crap.
And look, it doesn't mean a hill of beans in the standings or anything as far as your playoff hunt goes. You've been in for you were one of the first teams in the West.
Could leave a scar though.
But dude, emotionally, can you imagine? Golly. And I was floored, and I turned it on to watch overtime. And when I thought, this is good. This is something that could stick with a team for a while.
Yeah.
You know, that's all about how Pete DeBoer handles that in the room. You guys, you know what? We got our point. Let's move on. We know how this happened. It won't happen again. Let's move on.
It can be a very good learning experience. There's no doubt about that. It's an anomaly. They'll move on, but that is it just goes to show you in the NHL, it can happen so freaking quickly with that extra man. It's insane.
And it was interesting. I told you too that when the Stars first moved here, I think it was year one. They were in the opposite position. They were down to the Bruins at a game I was at in '94, like 6-3, and they came back in the final 2 minutes, tied it, and won it in overtime. And that's when I went on the air the next day and trying to educate hockey fans, new hockey fans in Dallas. This is why you never leave a hockey game early.
Never leave early.
Never, ever leave a hockey game early because you don't know. Well, now here we are 30 some odd years later on the other end of it, and it stings.
It's and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's transition before you mention you're talking hockey here. See this picture from last night? Lightning fans will know that gentleman right behind me. Yeah, see that? That's Michael, and he sits right on the aisle in section 128, I believe it is, at the Lightning. And he comes to all the games alone. Nicest guy. Chatted with him last night. Chatted with him before. Nicest guy in the world. Wears his cowboy hat and his cowboy boots. Very nice. And he just sits there very stoically. He does not cheer. He just sits there with a little pinch between his cheek and gum, with his legs crossed on the aisle, and just takes in the games. And that is now his seat at George Steinbrenner Field. Just like and then oftentimes Lightning Vision will put him on, and just on the jumbotron. Right. He doesn't wave, he doesn't flinch, he just kind of sits there and smiles. And anyway, we sat with him last night, and we were right in front of him. Thanks to Jack Hannon for my incredible tickets 7 rows up behind the dugout, so you can heckle a lot of different people from that spot, which was great. It was a hell of a night. It was a hell of a night. It was a very eventful night. It was a very frustrating night to watch the Rays play. So much stuff happened last night. We won't even be able to finish talking about it when we got to get to Bob Harig. So we'll get through it in the first hour. But suffice it, first thing I want to do is just talk about the experience. And it is, last night, it was probably 72 degrees or maybe in the 60s, high 60s. Wow. Yeah, it's just an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball. So that's number one. We went to Riveters, had a couple of beers, walked to the stadium. It's about a 20-minute walk from the stadium. Me and my boy Jack Hannon, who loves to walk. He's a walker. So it's about a mile walk, which I don't mind. And on a beautiful night like that. Now in the middle of summer, I might that might be a little bit different, but it was beautiful. It was an incredible setting. They've made it look so Rays-esque. I mean, they have just done a fantastic job, as I knew they would. It just feels like the Rays ballpark. There are a couple of obviously Yankees things in there, but it just feels fantastic. The vibe in there is amazing. Smell in the grass. They put new infield dirt down because I guess the other stuff they weren't too happy with it. So they put the new infield dirt down. Looks great. It's such a vibe in that place. You feel so connected to all the other fans. They've got great areas in right field and left field. The place is absolutely packed, but it's comfortable. Yeah, I went. You go to the bathroom. I didn't wait in line at all. Go get a beer. It took me about 5 minutes total to get the horribly overpriced beer. But how do the bathroom facilities overall compare to what's at the Trop? I mean, it has to be everything's better than at the Trop. Everything. The bathroom facilities, the food and beverage stations. There's more room. Even there's more on the concourse. They built out the concourse, so they have a whole food court area. Again, you're not waiting in long lines like you do at the Trop because they don't have enough area or point of sale. And obviously, some games there's more people. Right. Now, this game at the Trop on a Tuesday would have been 4,000 people. It was a sellout last night, the 7th consecutive sellout. Now they may have said, last year 10,000 was the. I think that was because of their season tickets. They will report those tickets sold. But you go to games at the Trop when the Angels are in town midweek, it's 4,000 or 5,000 people, and it's an absolute mausoleum. It is just, it's awful. It's a big cavernous. Nobody's there. You can hear Sophie and Ginger, 18 sections over, talking about little Joey. Right. And it's an awful look. It's an awful field. The players hate it. They absolutely hate it. And you want to talk about a minor league field, that's a minor league field. But in this atmosphere where it's packed, but comfortably packed, it was just such a fantastic experience on every level, just in terms of the game and the stadium, parking, getting in and out. It was no trouble. It was really, really good. And I I can't imagine these players wanting to go back to Tropicana Field, a half-baked, half-repaired Tropicana Field. That's another discussion for another day. Certainly the facilities that they have inside as well. I mean, for the players, the clubhouse is just insanely good. The food areas are so much better than what they have at Tropicana Field. Everything. Yeah. I mean, it's not even, and they got to go back to a moldy, small clubhouse. Yeah, I don't think so. But that, again, a discussion for another time. And then we get to the game, and Shane Baz is just, he's fantastic. He was hitting close to 100 almost on every fastball, up on 97, 98, breaking stuff just off the charts. Really, really good. Gave up 2 runs. Should have been one because we have this knucklehead, Zach Hampel, who goes around to, I guess, MLB parks, puts a GoPro on his head and catches home runs. And last night he caught one in the field of play. He clearly took it away from Christopher Morel, who was going to catch that ball.
Interference.
It was fan interference. I mean, everybody in the park could see it. You don't get a lot of replays in the park. That's one thing I wish they would give us more replays on the board. But it's just enough. I looked it up on my phone. I saw it, and I'm like, and they reviewed it, and they said no fan interference. And I don't know how the hell they came up with that, because it was clear as day that Morel's glove was right underneath that dude's glove. I don't want to say his name again, give him more props. And they didn't throw him out because I guess they called no fan interference.
Yeah.
But it was clear as day that should not have been a home run. No way, no how. Christopher Morel was asked about it after the game. He said, "No, I was going to catch that ball. I was going to catch that ball. My glove was right there." I don't know how they ruled that otherwise. I just don't. I didn't see an angle. Maybe they had a better angle. I don't know. But from what we saw, from what the announcer saw, from what that was stolen. And every run was big in this game because it ends up being a 4-3 win for the Angels as the Rays strand a runner at third and with nobody out in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Twice they do the contact play, infield's in. And as soon as the ball is hit, the guy's going from third base. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. And he's out by 10 feet every single time. It's not even close.
You stranded 7 runners in the last 3 innings alone.
Unbelievable. Can't get a hit with runners in scoring position. Last night they were 2 for 13. In this 5-game losing streak, they're now 7 for 36 with runners in scoring position. And it's not even just the lack of hitting. It's like you can't move the ball. Taylor Walls had a great bunt last night. Finally, they lay down a bunt, and they couldn't even take advantage of that.
Yeah.
They're just so bad offensively. And Morel strikes out, gets thrown out. They're already down a couple outfielders. So then they have to move Caballero to the outfield, and Coco Montez, who just came up, boots a ground ball that should have been a double play, get out of the inning, and that ends up leading to a run as well. So they booted this game every way they could boot it last night. And it's frustrating when you have they have a pitching staff that in the history of baseball, they've never had a starting staff or maybe the entire staff, where the average fastball is over 95.6, I believe it is. So they have they have just a stable of guys that can just bring heat, and they're really good. They're not just power pitchers, but they're really good. And I said this before the season. We said it during the offseason. How do you have a historic pitching staff like this that's cheap, by the way, really cheap staff, and not augment it with real sluggers? We'll go out and sign at least 2 guys. They signed nobody. I mean, my God, Danny Jansen now is what, 1 for 30, 1 for 40 something. I don't know. The catchers combined are like 1 for 40 something. And he had multiple opportunities last night to do stuff and did nothing. And Ha-Sung Lee is on the way. The shortstop, we desperately need him to get back. But he's not a slugger. He's
now you need him to play at a Hall of Fame, unrealistic level to level out the playing field here.
It's really sad that they won't have, with this pitching, that they're just going to waste this pitching staff, just absolutely waste it. But anyway, let's take a quick pause. We're talking about the Rays to talk some Masters. Our good friend Bob Harig, Sports Illustrated golf writer, longtime ESPN golf writer, longtime St. Pete Times golf writer, joining us now from the beautiful Masters press area. Look at that place, Bob Harig. How are you, partner?
It's Taj Mahal of media centers, guys. It really is. It's amazing. I mean, if you saw this place walking in, like, it's frankly, if they had a bed here, I would just stay here. It's like they have showers, they have a locker room for us. I mean, like, if they let me, I bring my wedge and a couple of golf balls and chip in the front. It's just it's for 10 days a year. I mean, frankly, it's kind of obscene, really, how nice this is for 10 days a year.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah. That's incredible. Did you get to cover the ladies as well last week?
Yeah.
So you get there as early as you can, right?
I was here Saturday. I think, listen, that thing is kind of evolved into a nice little event.
Love that event.
Those players are really good. They're excellent amateur players. You're going to see a bunch of them as pros. And look, it's an opportunity to see the golf course. Typically in the past, we would be allowed to be here on Sundays, but you couldn't go on the course.
Right.
And you still can't on Sundays, but on Saturdays with that, they let spectators in. And for whatever reason, they don't sell as many tickets. So it's really easy to get around. So, I went out and watched. I got a nice look at the course. Obviously, they had a lot of damage here due to Hurricane Helene.
Yeah.
You see some differences. And so anyway, it's nice to be here for that, and it's a kind of a good way to kick off the week.
And we got to mention our good friend Fred Ridley, the chairman, a Tampa resident, Palmacia member. We inducted him into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, and he's responsible for the ladies' event and so many incredible changes that they've made. I think fantastic changes at the Masters. And I'm guessing including the place you're sitting in right now. So talk a little bit about the legacy that our Tampa resident Fred Ridley is leaving there at Augusta.
Yeah, well, the media center, this is now the 9th year of this, believe it or not. That was sort of in the works before him, but he clearly, the Augusta National Women's Amateur was his baby.
Yeah. That
was his initiative. They start. I believe his chairmanship started in 2017, and his that event began in 2019. So, like, I think it was at the 2018 Masters they announced it, and they don't do anything half-assed around here. They put that thing in motion quick, and it's they're treated great. Just like the kids on the Sunday thing, the drive, chip, and putt.
Yeah.
Like they've sort of decreed nobody's gonna qualify for this and not be able to come because they can't afford it. So they put them up. They get them here, and obviously they have the resources to do that.
Yeah.
I harken back to an old Billy Payne line. Billy Payne was Fred's predecessor as the chairman.
We lost him.
I think you hit your mute button there, Bob. Did you hit your mute button? Did he mute himself? You're muted.
He muted himself somehow, yeah.
I think he moved his
hand. On the little microphone down there on your – there you go.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what I did there. Technology.
Yeah.
My thing,
I think if you just wave your hand over your computer, Bob, it hits your mute button, so be careful.
I was starting to say that if you're familiar with Berkman's Road, it's a main road that the spectators come in on, and it used to be a lot closer to where this media center is, and the club kind of wanted it moved, and so of course you don't just like move a road. It's not their property, but I remember him saying, he said, yeah, we've been in talks with the city of Augusta to move Berkman's Road. They're going to do that. We'd like them to do it sooner rather than later. And we've told them we'd be willing to help them with that. And he said, as you know, we have the ability to do that. It's kind of funny. So, yeah, in other words, here's a couple $1 million. Here's a couple $1 million. Go ahead and start laying concrete, guys. Get it done by next year.
Wow.
Well, speaking of the media center, it was quite the day yesterday. I don't even know where to begin. You were there, so I'll just kind of open the floor to you. I have a special place in my heart for Bernhard Langer. It was, I think, the second Masters that I worked back in the 90s that he won. One of the ones he won, and just watching him go about his business, and I followed his career. One of the classiest players. He announced that this will be his last Masters, and I don't know if there's a player on this planet, maybe Gary player, that has had more longevity and played at an elite level for as long as he has. So let's start with Bernhard, and then we'll go to Rory, wherever you want to go. I know your time is short, but go ahead.
Well, certainly longer. I mean, look, he's 67. He won a Masters, his first Masters, the year before Jack won his last.
Right.
40 years ago.
1985.
Longer won in 1985. Curtis Strange hit 2 balls in the water on 13 and 15 to help him out, and Longer won again in 93. But his Champions Tour career has been phenomenal. He just won last year at like 66. The shelf life out there is kind of between 50 and 55, maybe 57, 58. You have the occasional 60-year-old win, but it gets harder when you're 60 to compete with these guys who are 50 just coming on. He's doing it 15 years older. Yeah. It's amazing. And he's from a country that is not a big golf country. It certainly wasn't when he was coming up,
right?
In Germany. But one of my favorite things about him is at the 2020 Masters, which was played in the fall due to COVID. They delayed it. And Bryson had won the U.S. Open at Winged Foot about a month earlier. Remember, the order was messed up.
Yeah. So
Bryson comes here, and he has since admitted that this was not a smart thing to say. But he basically, this was in his beefy, brawny Bryson days, and he still kills it, but he was really killing it then. And he said, really, Augusta's kind of like a par 67 for me. The way I hit it. And then he didn't have a great week. He struggled. In the last round, he's paired with Bernhard. So Bernhard is like 62 or 3.
Right.
Bryson.
Oh, he froze.
Yeah.
There he is. Look, he's Bryson is very, very long, and Longer would be the first to admit he's not very long anymore, certainly at this level, playing a golf course from 7,400 yards. But Longer beat him on the scorecard. It's a phenomenal achievement. Think about it.
It is.
I mean, when Longer won and his son won the PNC in December against Tiger and Charlie, Longer was playing from tees suited for a senior golfer. He was getting like 100-yard advantage off it. And Tiger off the tee or 80 yards. That wasn't the case here.
Right.
He was 100 yards behind him and beat him. I think that's incredible.
Wow. That isn't his story, I think, has not been told as much as it deserves to be told. His golfing story. He's amazing.
He overcame the yips like 4 times.
Yeah. Yes. And ridiculous back problems. And does this incredible back stretching routine, which I try to emulate but never can. All right, let's talk about Rory. Yesterday, he kind of bared his soul a little bit more. He's working with Bob Rotella, famed sports psychologist. What did we learn from the Rory being on the psychiatric couch yesterday?
Yeah, look, Rory, I appreciate Rory for a lot of times too. People get upset that especially with all the live stuff, he's waffled a few times, but I'm fine with that. Look, we want these guys to tell us things, and they tell us things, and then we're going to get mad at them. No, I'd rather him tell us, and I thought that was interesting that Rory admitted for the first 5 years or so after he won the Open in 2014 and had 4 majors, he tried to treat the majors as just any other tournament, and it didn't really work out very well for him. And so really, he said, since like about 2020, I've focused more on these a little bit. He said, look, I still want to treat it like a regular tournament week, but I understand they're different.
Yeah.
And he's had good results in majors over the last few years. He just hasn't crossed the line. I mean, he probably should have won the U.S. Open last year.
Absolutely.
He could have easily won it the year before when Wyndham Clark won. He hit all 18 greens in regulation in the final round at St. Andrews and somehow lost.
Yeah.
The one Cam Smith won.
Yeah.
He's been knocking on the door a bunch, and really for the last 6 months, he's probably been the best player. Scotty had an injury, so did Xander. Rory's won twice this year. I sort of sit here and go, if you're not going to do it now, when are you?
Yeah.
This is his 17th Masters. Like,
wow.
Sergio won the Masters in his 19th Masters, first one. But before that, the record had been 15. I think Mark O'Meara won in his 15th Masters. So, Rory is getting into that stage where you're not going to get it done if you don't do it here pretty soon. And, man, maybe you better do it when you're playing well, Mm-hmm. The other thing to watch about him is, like, I think he gets too far behind. And when you get behind here and try to catch up, that's a bad formula.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to catch up when you shoot a 75 on Thursday. They say you can't win the Masters on Thursday, but you can sure as heck lose it.
Sure. And I mean, even shooting 70 or 71, if the leader shoots 65, it's even that. Like, then all of a sudden you're 5 back, and it's not a golf course where you can press. You just can't.
Yeah. You got to take what it gives you. No question about it. So as you look at the field and other storylines, what jumps out at you this week?
Yeah, I think you got to look at Scotty. Can he defend? I mean, he hasn't won this year, but I think he's playing fine. He shot 62 in Houston a couple of weeks ago. His putting might not quite be to the level it was last year, but he's such a great ball striker and hits a lot of greens. So I'd be surprised if he's not in the mix. I think you gotta wonder if Xander has enough golf.
Yeah.
At the Valspar he tied for 12th, which was a nice sign, but that was coming off shooting 81 at the Players.
Yeah.
So he, unfortunately for him, he had an injury that he was out for 2 months, and he's been playing catch up, and you just can't rush it.
Yeah.
Hopefully for him, he's okay. And because, we forget he's the last guy to win a major. It was a long time ago when they played the British Open in July. He won 2 last year, and typically you'd be looking at that guy. Wow, can he win 2 in a row? Well, it's like we're not even talking about it hardly. So those are, obviously you got to look at them. I certainly, I kind of like Morikawa. He was in the last group last year. He's a guy who hits again, the ball striking guys, the guys who hit it solid. Like, this is not a putting contest course. It's a hit a lot of greens and chip well course.
Yeah.
And if you're hitting a lot of greens and giving yourself a few chances, then I think, not hitting greens and leaving yourself 50 footers, hitting a lot of greens and, giving yourself a few 8, 10, 12, 15 footers in the round that you coax a few of those in and you're going to be there.
Yeah. All right, Bob, thank you for your time. As always, really appreciate it. Anything else going on in your world? The books selling? You got a couple of great books out there. Tell the folks about that as well.
Yeah, look, I wrote a book a few years ago that's still out there called Tiger and Phil, Golf's Most Fascinating Rivalry. I still think it is a fascinating rivalry. I'm guessing that, Tiger wasn't here for the Champions Dinner, but even if he was, I don't think him and Phil were going to say anything to each other. And then I wrote a book that came out a year ago about Tiger's legacy, the lasting legacy, Tiger Woods' drive. And it fits still. Like, look, Tiger's going to have to come back from another injury. His whole career is about resiliency, really. Like, obviously great skill. But I highlight all the examples in his career where, he just never mailed it in.
Never.
So we'll see if he can do it again.
Go to Amazon and get both of those Bob Harig books. Great reads if you're a golf fan, even if you're not. It's great life stories. Great, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend there.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Be well.
I love Masters week. I freaking love Masters. I got home from the Rays game last night. I turned on the Golf Channel, and you're watching live from. And if you're a golf nerd, that show, I love
all
that
that's
show.
on my TV all week right now.
Rich Lerner, Patty McGinley, and
love her.
What's his name?
The other guy.
Just blanking on his name right there.
Me too.
With begins with a B. My brain just works like this now. And a Brandel Chambly.
Brandel, yeah.
And I'm saying thank you to my brain for finally picking that up. It's just those guys have just such great knowledge of the game. You listen to Bob, talking about back in in '85 when Curtis Strange hit 2 balls in the water. I mean, but you remember these things.
Yeah.
Well, I used to remember these things. about the Masters because it's such a special place. I got to go early on in my career when I worked in Tallahassee. Our station's stick, as we call it, the antenna, was in Georgia, and every Georgia station got 2 press passes to the Masters. So I got to go in 90, saw Couples, 92, 93 Longer, and then Crenshaw in 94. And just, I remember being on 17 when Crenshaw had I think he had a 2-shot lead. And that tee shot had always been a little bit of a bugaboo for him. He would tug it left, which you cannot get it left there.
No.
Because he used to have the big tree there. And you could see him. I was about 2 deep, and you could see him his eyes were welling up, like he's going to win the Masters.
Yeah, he finally realized.
Yeah, and it was, and he had to step away, fight back the tears. So as you get there, and you get close to the golfers, and you remember these moments. If you're on grounds for those moments, Freddie's a ball that somehow doesn't go in the water on 12.
Yeah.
It just, those moments that you'll never forget. Tiger's chip in 05. My buddy Jack, and I was talking to him. He's friends with Chris DeMarco, who was the recipient of that in 2005. Yep. Went to a playoff with Tiger.
Yep.
And on 18, when they go to 18, he hits a 6-iron that's hole high, but hits it with spin, and it sucks back off and almost made his chip. And then Tiger.
Well, he did that in regulation too, on the same shot on the same hole. That was the second time DeMarco had pulled that.
That's right. That's right. So you could just remember the year, and of course the magical year of '86. I literally I remember I was driving home. I think I was driving home from college, and I was, I wanted to stay and watch the Masters, but I had to get home, and so I'm like, I was just pissed. And then all of a sudden, I just, I hear. I don't even know in '86 how I think it just came over the radio. It was like Jack is 2 back, making a run at the Masters. I said, F it. I'm pulling off the road. I gotta go. I went to some seedy bar in Daytona, I think it was, and just sat there to watch Jack play the back 9 in '86 and just yelling and screaming. The whole freaking bar was going bananas. And yes, sir. It was just, and it's something special about this golf tournament that just, I don't know. It's magical. It
epitomizes golf for me. Like this, to me, this is what the entire game of golf should be. With this all of the tradition. I mean, it's amazing. But the course, the history of the tournament, the course, the traditions that go along with for the winners. They're weird, quirky. Some call them cultist traditions, whatever. I hear the same thing being an Aggie, so I'm fine with that word. But whatever it is my favorite week of golf every single year, and it is rivaled only by my second favorite week of the year, which is the last week heading into Memorial Day for the Indy 500. For me, those are my 2 biggest sports weeks. And it's just, I mean, like you said, I've got 2 TVs in my bedroom, and this week one is it's Golf Channel 24/7, and I don't turn it off. I mean, it's always on. So
yeah. So there's a lot of storylines. Johnny Gerber is going to join us a little bit later on. We're going to talk about from a betting standpoint, what's happening.
Make some money.
So let's make some. It's even more fun. And I never really dreamed about betting on golf, but now it's it's so easy to do, and it's so fun. I mean, it makes watching the game, watching the tournament so much better, and especially in the Masters. So get in your Masters pool. We'll give you some of the dark horses and all that stuff. I think you have a sneak peek down there.
Of his pick?
Take a sneak peek. Yeah. Sneak peek.
Hang on.
Can we do that without him on there? Will he get mad at us?
No, he won't get mad. I don't think he'll care. We won't.
Can we heckle his picks before he comes on?
We just want.
No, we want to heckle him to his face, actually.
Yeah.
He likes Brooks this week.
You like that? Yeah.
Brooks always plays well. But he is doing nothing on the Live Tour.
You know what? Right? Brooksy was one of my top 3 players on the PGA Tour. We're Srixon brothers, which is different than the Eskimo brothers. But since he has left for Live Golf, I have not watched, other than when he's in the majors, I have not watched one swing of Brooks Koepka on that other tour.
Those guys have self-inflicted exile.
Yeah.
And like John Rahm is here this week, right? A couple of years ago.
Cares.
And, he was, he's just, and he's like making the rounds to, reintroduce himself to golf fans, make sure he does every interview and does everything he possibly can do. I'll still say, I don't care how much money. I don't care how much money is enough.
Yeah.
For Koepka and Rahm, especially those two guys, like you were never going to, you had enough money generationally for you, your kids, and your grandkids already. And you had the ability to make as much money as you want. You could play as many corporate outings as you can possibly do, and you're going to get paid $500,000 to do it any and every time you do it.
Yep.
I mean, I know they're not fun, but if you need some money, it's a nice little, hey, let's go out on Monday and pick up $500,000.
Yeah.
And you say it's not enough. I need more, and I'm going to exile myself from the world of golf to do so.
Yeah, I think a lot of them
don't get it. Don't get it.
I think a lot of them underestimated the effect of them leaving the PGA Tour would have. I don't think Brooks. I know for a fact John Rahm was clueless about what he was going to meet when he joined Live Golf, and the exile, including that from his fellow golfers. I think he was just clueless when he left that of some of the things that he experienced.
Yeah, and hopefully they can get this thing together by the end of this year. There was some talk that Trump was going to bring everybody together.
Yep.
I guess that kind of went by the wayside. They had the big event, a live event down at Doral because the PGA Tour didn't want to be associated with Donald Trump anymore, and they ripped away, which was just so stupid. So, like, Jay Monahan, he's a clown. You want to talk about terrible leadership? You want to talk about terrible leadership? I would put in my hall of shame of sports leaders, I think I'd have to have Jay Monahan at the top. He's a clueless clown. Jim Phillips, commissioner of the ACC, not far behind. I'm trying to think of other sports leaders in other sports. Adam Silver belongs in the top 3. No question about it. No question about it.
Dennis Dugan was a better tour commissioner and Happy Gilmore than what Jay Monahan has done.
Dennis Dugan. Yeah, because he managed the Happy Gilmore phenomenon very well, I thought.
He handled Shooter McGavin pretty well too.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't let him push him around.
Yeah, it's well done. By the way, Caddyshack 2 coming out. When's that coming out?
Happy Gilmore 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2 was awful. Terrible.
It's this summer. It's coming. I think June or July is the release date for it on Netflix. Oh man, Paige is in it.
Mm-hmm. She's in. I forgot to ask Bob about his Netflix Full Swing. Cameos. He's all over that thing. I'm like, do you get paid for that? You get paid for every cameo you do. Every cutaway in the media center is Harig.
It's him in it. Yeah,
like, I know he must be buddies with one of the cameramen or something.
I think Harig's got my dream job, man.
Yeah.
Look, there's my second. Again, everybody knows my dream job is to do MLB radio play-by-play. But I think covering the PGA Tour every week would be right up there with that, man.
I don't know. I think it would destroy your love for the game, to be quite honest, to have to talk to some of those idiots every week.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
I know some of them are idiots. Like I know the idiots that are out there, and
that's
true in baseball.
Speaking of Morikawa, speaking of D-bags,
that's Johnny's nemesis.
Morikawa.
Yeah, because he likes his wife.
Okay, I have a different reason. Yeah, I don't like that dude. He was doing interviews yesterday as well.
Yeah,
he's such a smug punk.
He's a California kid that grew up with money. I mean,
oh God, that's a bad combination.
Country club kid, right? A typical country club kid.
Please, no, thank you. No, thank you.
I don't have nearly as much of a problem with him as I do somebody like Patrick Reed and Patrick Cantlay. And Patrick Cantlay's got to be the worst guy on the tour.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't know.
He is all about me. You know what? I love me some Patrick. He doesn't give a crap about the fans. He routinely gives fans the Heisman just walking by him as little kids are begging for autographs.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. All right, let's take our first break. Let's come back on the other side, get a little bit more Rays talk going. I see you. I see you, Rick, in the comments. I see you. I'm coming at you. Coming for you. Yeah, we have a Kyle Tucker note here, friend of the show, obviously. He gonna get paid. He gonna get paid. And could he be a Ray? I'll tell you how when we come back. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. The Jeeves Law Group would like to say congratulations to the Florida Gators winning that national championship. If you would like national championship level care in your accident case, go to the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawGroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Just like the Gators, they're number one. Scott Jeeves, former Gator, number one. So if you're looking for any type of legal representation, give them a call at the Jeeves Law Group. They'll give you a free case evaluation. JEEVESLawGroup.com. Non-attorney spokesman, offices Tampa, St. Pete. Back in 3. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. Summer is coming. Do not get caught with your unit unprepared. Your AC unit, of course. The awesome folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC have a special going on right now. You get a free 1-year maintenance package with any purchase of a new unit. They have special 60-month financing as well, so you don't need a huge chunk up front. Third Generation has an impeccable reputation built over 30 years of doing business. They do plumbing, AC, mechanical work, anything you need around the house. They are trusted folks. Go to the website and read the 5-star reviews. Deidre said, great company that always arrives timely. We have used them for our AC both in home and business and have been very happy. The staff is knowledgeable and professional. I would recommend Third Generation again and again. So give Third Generation a call at 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Bring us back, Timmy.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. That guy over there chomping and a chewing is JP Peterson.
Breakfast.
I am IndyCar Tim,
Late breakfast.
live from the Jeeves Law Group studios in Tampa and Dallas, JeevesLawGroup.com. Free consultations available, JP.
That's right.
Jeeves Law Group.
That's right. And also, we want to thank our good friends at the On-Site Construction. Great folks over there. We had Jason Fawcett, the owner, into the building here last a couple weeks ago. Great guy, and they do great work. If you're looking to renovate your home, if you still need repairs from the hurricanes, you're looking for a trusted contractor to get the work done, none better than On-Site Construction. Their website is onsiteconstructionfl.com, and they got some great pictures there if you want to see some of their work. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. They've done over 1,450 jobs over the years, 25 years experience, 500 designs, 40 construction professionals. These are not folks that you just picked up off the street to do the work. These are professionals that get great work done on time and on budget. So if you're looking to do some new construction, you want to build the home of your dreams, they can do that for you, just renovations. And it matters, folks, when you have experienced people, because you're going to run into a lot of different things, unexpected things. Your contractor will, when they're working with an established structure and adding something on or renovating something. And if you're not experienced in this type of work, they've probably encountered so many things already. It's not going to be new to them, and that makes a huge difference. So they're obviously very competitive on price. Check them out. 813-579-5789. That's 813-579-5789. Give them a call at onsiteconstructionfl.com. All right, you want to get to some of the comments here, my friend?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Love you guys. I missed you guys when I was away on vacation. I really did. Believe it or not, I missed. I missed Nathan Elliott saying good morning to us both. I love you, Nathan. Love you, buddy. Yes, the hand is still swollen.
Yeah.
Bucs Basement. We even love you, Bucs Basement, Mr. Yeah. Negative. Good morning, JP. Hope everything has been great. Congrats on your stupid Gators. They're not my Gators, but I found myself rooting for them. I really did. I know some of my FSU brethren are hating me on this, but as you get older, those emotional regurgitations every time you see the rival team, it don't happen anymore. I really like this bunch. They're really it's like when I covered the 06-07 bunch, went to both of those Final Fours with those teams, and with Horford and Brewer and that whole group, and Lee Humphreys. You got to know Billy Donovan. Just great dudes, man. Great dudes. You really, really rooted for them. And these guys, I think, very much the same. So congratulations to the Gators, who I guess showed up a couple hours late. The students had to wait for them to celebrate, but they weren't going anywhere. He also said the Rays are being the Rays, just typical 500 team that can't hit worth a damn. Thanks, Stu. # sell the team. Bucs Basement, I'm all with you this morning, man. It's just so frustrating, right? And this is what I've always said. This has never been a personal for me with Stu. It's about the way he runs the team. I mean, you have a generational pitching staff that's extremely affordable. Any other organization would just go out and add those hitters. And we're talking about it last night in the stands. The group around us were like, "Man, can you imagine if a new owners came in mid-season?" And by the way, we're not hearing much on that. Even my sources have kind of closed lip, like they're doing their due diligence, they're working through it, they're still trying to buy the team. Just be patient. Be patient. These things will take time when Stu Sternberg is involved.
Like for instance, last night Pete Fairbanks takes the loss. He didn't deserve the loss.
Oh God, no.
At all. There was no reason for that.
Well, I mean, and we talked about it. Coco Montez, just up from Durham, has to be put at third base because Caballero's got to go to the outfield because Morel gets thrown out of the game. Yeah. And from the stands, it's hard to see. You guys probably saw it better on TV, but it looked like a couple of bad calls. But Morel's awful. I don't know, man. I know he hit, he hit the one ball and then pimped it. Pimped it like he hit a home run, like bro, and it hit the bottom of the wall.
Wasn't even close.
And there was another, I forget who it was for the Angels. Ball was bobbled in the infield, and he's running down to first base, and he stops running. The guy bobbles the ball. He would have been safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Major League Baseball, man. It's Major League freaking baseball. You can't run to first. And by the way, Yandy Diaz, come on, man. Yandy Diaz, why in God's name is this guy the leadoff hitter? Still the leadoff hitter. He's a designated hitter with zero power. I mean, I love Yandy. Great dude. Everybody loves Yandy. He looks like he's 60 years old. He can't run. He can't play the field, and he can't hit now. Obviously it's an early season slump. It happened last year, and he came back and started hitting the ball, but he doesn't hit the ball with power, and he's at the top of the lineup. Like, what are you doing? And then they had Meisner, who's hitting like 410 in the 8th hole. Then you have Taylor Walls in the 9 hole, who's hitting like 183. Shouldn't that be reversed? That, the second leadoff hitter should be, because you're going to go through the lineup. You want to get as many good hitters as you can. Like I don't know. It makes no sense. And I know I'm a little bit of old school, but I don't know what the hell the Rays are doing. What Cash is doing. He's pinch hitting Meade. Aranda's the only one who can put the goddamn bat on the ball. And Meade, who was great in spring training, but we all know what that is. Pitchers are just working on stuff. The guy's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, so many holes in this lineup, and I don't understand it. Like Yandy, and people are like, oh, Yandy's the leadoff guy. He was a batting champion. Yeah, 100 years ago, and he can't run. You got a guy Durham and Chandler Simpson who's beating out ground balls to first base, who could steal 100 bags, who's got great bat on ball skills. Get him the hell up here. We bringing up Coco Montez. The hell? Who can't even field a ground ball, who blows a double play for Fairbanks and allows the winning run to score eventually. I mean,
listening to you gripe about guys not legging out ground ball like that, or even fly balls for that matter.
Yeah.
That reminds me. So I was watching our little AA affiliate, Rangers AA affiliate, the Frisco Rough Riders down here the other night. And the Rangers, one of their top, I think he's their number 3 prospect, Sebastian Walcott. He's 19. He's a shortstop. He's 6'4". He's a great, he's going to be in the majors probably next year. I saw him leg out a ground ball to first. He legged out a ground ball to first and
that's what Chandler Simpson did the other day.
Yeah. And oh my God, that is one of the coolest things to watch, man. Just how fast they are. And the first baseman is so perplexed. Like, what just happened?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And so much of what, watching the Rays play is frustrating. Their offense is terrible. They've lost 5 in a row now this year. Can't get hits with runners in scoring position. It's just, it's maddening. And the fact that, Josh Lowe is hurt, DeLuke is hurt. I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of hearing that. Go out and get some real hitters. Get some real hitters. And it's frustrating. A couple other notes, though.
The playing fields for all Major League Baseball teams are fairly even, right? Everybody deals with injuries.
That's right.
How you build your roster behind your starters is what makes you successful. So be a little bit deeper here. Have some guys that can play different positions and just figure it out, because that's what every team has to do.
Well, it comes down to payroll and spending money. And once again, the Rays have plenty of money to spend. They spend 33%, 30% of their total revenues on their payroll, which is 3rd worst in the league. Last year it was 2nd worst in the league. They've got plenty of money they can use on players. They just, Stu just refuses to do it. And you could go out and buy hitters. If you buy a couple of hitters in free agency, then when you lose Josh Lowe, you're not replacing him with some guy who's not ready to be in the major leagues. That's the thing. You got it. You're replacing him with somebody who's close to being a starter instead of some guy who's not even close to being a starter. So when you get these injuries, you got a lot of inexperienced players that aren't ready to play at the major league level. And you're trying to throw them out there as starters. And, of course, they'll have a couple hot streaks and everybody will get excited, and then they'll go back to being who they are. Or they'll not get hot streaks and they'll start, like Danny Jansen has. And that was supposed to be the big upgrade at catcher. He's good defensive catcher, but offensively, he's horrible. He's been absolutely horrible. And one of the things, I don't know if we mentioned this in the pregame show. Were we talking about the lights in the pregame show or the actual show?
That was pregame. That was pregame.
All right. So the lights are an issue at Steinbrenner. There were two balls last night that were lost in the lights. One of them into left field, and it went up into the sky, and I just totally lost it. And I'm 7 rows back. So we're 7 rows back. I look up, and I see it go, and I'm like, where the hell did the ball go? Like it just disappeared.
Which means the outfielders are dealing with the same thing you are.
Exactly. They can't see the ball. There was one down the right field line that Trout didn't even come close to.
Yeah, that was funny watching that on TV.
Yeah, I mean, the ball just disappears, and so they have some issues. I don't know if they can extend the light poles, give the light poles a little Cialis or something. I don't know. Or maybe they can turn the lights up. I don't put more lights and point them upwards. I don't know, but that's an issue right now. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Construction grade Cialis.
Mm-hmm. There you go. 3D printing. Rick said, just hold on for 30 seconds. Sounds like my wife. Yeah, thank you. Daniel Rivera says, if you think Steinbrenner is awesome, just wait until the new Ybor ballpark is done with new elite owners. I can't wait, Daniel. I cannot wait till we have real baseball in this city, a real stadium, a real owners, and we finally do it the right way. And we're close. Telling you folks, we're really, really close. And once again, Stu Sternberg standing in the way. It's maddening. I know I talk about it a lot. Even Ashley says, can you just stop talking about Stu Sternberg? Can we just have a Steinbrenner free home for one day? Or Sternberg free home for once. Yeah, I know. Michael LaRue says the Rays worked on getting a man in from third in spring training. They still need to work on it. You think, Michael LaRue? Good morning to you. Oh, my God. It was – I don't understand. Can somebody help me with that? Is this the new thing in baseball that you have to run from – even if it's not a force? You got to run from third base? I don't see
anybody else doing it.
I was drinking a few beers last night, so, man, my details may not be perfect this morning on these, but anyway, I got a video of it, too. You can hear – I'm like, they're on third. I was taking a video of it, and it gets thrown out by 10 feet, and I'm like, God damn it. Yep. Because it's frustrating to watch. Douglas Batista says, good morning to you, partner. JP, welcome back. Watching the Rays the last few games has been painful. Don't understand Cash twice in the last week, pinch hitting Meade, and last night for Aranda. Yeah. What are we doing? Yeah, I'm starting to lose some faith in Kevin Cash. TBH.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's hard sometimes to figure out how much of it is coming from the top and the analytics and the lineups and everything, and how much comes from him. But man, the lineups don't make sense to me. These aggressive, run from third, that doesn't make sense to me. I liked the bunt last night, finally from Taylor Walls, which is excellent and well executed. But letting Morel swing, Morel in certain situations, it's maddening. Daniel Rivera says when it came to golf somewhere upstairs, I did it better. No one did it better than Big Dog Dumick, especially when it came to the majors. Yeah, he was awesome. Former PGA pro himself. The Big Dog was one of our former sports talk hosts here on 620, and he was a legend when it came to golf. Really, really great at talking the game. Rick says golf talk and interviews, no stadium talk. What is JP hiding? Did he sign an NDA last night in Stu's owner's box? I guess Stu was at the game last night, but I didn't see him. I guess I should have. I didn't want to, stalk the man. He could have come. He could have come.
Why not?
Me.
You don't have a restraining order or something we don't know about, do you?
Not yet. Daniel Rivera, if I'd have come up to him last night, there'd be one by the morning. Daniel Rivera says Vern Lundquist will be honored with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Distinguished Citizen Award on August 24th. Talk about some of the great voices of the Masters, Vern Lundquist. In your life, have you seen anything like that? Christopher Cole says, I'm not an NBA fan, but I can't believe that the Nuggets fired their coach and they were in 5th place in the West.
There's some weird things happening in the NBA right now.
What the hell was that? Michael Malone gets fired by the Nuggets on the eve of the playoffs.
So you know how when people get divorced these days, it's just they say irreconcilable differences.
Right.
It's the same thing when you have a good NBA team and the GM or owner decides this guy's not for us long term. Let's go ahead and make the change now, which is weird in the middle of the season or at the end of the season when you're about to go on a playoff run.
Right.
I mean, there has to be something that was said or done by that coach that they're just out. You know what? We believe that a new guy can come in here, or a guy that's been behind him on the bench can come in here and do better than what he would have done after being here all season. And it's incredible to me. And that's one of the reasons the NBA is an unwatchable product for me. I don't get it. By the way,
that's the guy who just won a championship not long ago.
We have the big return of Luka Doncic to Dallas tonight at the AAC as a Laker.
Wow. What's that going to be like?
As a Laker. I can't go because I've got I'm trying to lower my mic here when I'm not on because I've got my lawn guys here. But I can't go because we got golf show tonight. We've got our show tonight. Big Fan Stream Sports broadcast night tonight, so I can't go. But I probably would have gone. The only freaking Mavericks game I've been to in years was to see, and I probably would be the only guy there booing Luka.
Yeah,
you imagine?
You would.
I would have worn I would have worn a T-shirt that said Nico was right, which is a hashtag I've tried to get trending on X. Hashtag Nico was right. I would have had that T-shirt on. I would have had a picture of Nico on my hat. I might have gotten rolled.
You'd be the lone wolf, no doubt about that.
Might have gotten rolled.
Christopher Cole says Kyle Tucker on the Rays right now. Can you imagine that? I can. And this is what having real ownership is all about.
Yeah.
So yeah, he could be on the Rays right now. Maybe not right now. You'd have to trade for him, but we had real owners who would, if you're moving into a new stadium, let's just say that these new owners who, I don't know if I can even say this, but they would have a connection to Kyle Tucker. Let me just put it that way. They would have a connection to Kyle Tucker, who played at Plant High School in Tampa. Just bought, I played golf with him and Jason Romano, his agent, last month at Palmacia. Just bought well, he could buy the whole damn country club now. Just bought a house right on the third hole on Palmacia, and it just, he just loves living in Tampa. Grew up here, loves the people here. He was actually the topic of conversation at our table the other day at Palmacia when I was talking to some of the wives, my friends' wives, who obviously know their family very well. And we were chatting about his newfound wealth. And he's going to get, and this was per Ken Rosenthal yesterday on his Foul Territory show, that he's likely going to sign in the offseason 12 years, $40 million AAV. So, yeah, there's going to be an almost $500 million, he's probably going to could get up to 40, 48, 45, 48 a year over 10, 12 years. So it could be approaching $500 million. Now, is that something that the new Rays ownership would want to spend? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I know they have the money to do it, but if you were going to build a new stadium in Tampa and let's say you bought the team this year and you're going to be part of this huge entertainment complex and Rays baseball stadium, and you're going to be selling condos, you're going to be selling retail, you're going to be, having all the different restaurants and bars there. So you want excitement around the team, right? Would you want to go in with a key player like Kyle Tucker? I mean, a bona fide all-star who's tied to your own hometown?
Right.
I think that would be a really good marketing idea.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a really good marketing idea. And you can make your money back. Absolutely. With Kyle Tucker. So, and Kyle has said on the show a couple of years ago, he would never play in the Trop. Never. So if they go back to the Trop, if the new owners buy it and they go back to the Trop, there's no way he signs here. But if we had new ownership and they announced a new stadium and he's a free agent in the offseason, would they look at it? You're damn right they would. You're damn right they would. So yeah, there's a world. And think about that. Stu Sternberg would never even think about it. Even though he has the money to do it, would never even think about it. And that's why we get, crapped on by the national media as bad fans, because we don't, and I see this all the time when, Rays fans are trying to explain to people about the ownership, and these people come from out of market and they're like, oh, well, all he does is win. He doesn't spend much money, but they win on the field. Like, they win regular season. They just don't understand the dynamic of what could be here. John Hill says, big game tonight, Bolts versus Lefts. And Bolts 2 points behind the Lefts. Is he speaking politically? Of the Toronto Maple Leafs? The Maple Lefts? Is that what they are now?
Come on.
Are we going to...
Come on, John.
We're not booing the national anthem. No, we're not doing that.
No, we're not going to do that.
We just want to beat the hell out of the Maple Leafs. Yeah, tonight is for first place, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, let's take a break and come back and talk some Lightning hockey. We've got a big game tonight. How important is it to win the division? I'll tell you how important it is when we come back. We are brought to you by the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show, and that's Riveters. I was there last night. I was chatting with Andre, one of the owners there, and the proprietor, Great food. I saw the food coming out. We didn't eat there last night, but the food was coming out. The poutine fries, which I know you're a big fan of, with the gravy on top, was fantastic. Yep. The burgers,
cheeseburgers, fries.
Oh, and it's happy hour before the games, right? So you get the $8 buffalo chicken dip, which is fantastic. So many great values. $3.50 domestic bottles and drafts. All kinds of great specials at happy hour. So if you're going to the game tonight, stop by Riveters right there north of 275. It's about a 20-minute walk to the stadium. We did it last night. Beautiful weather. Check it out and tell them JP sent you. You never know what you're going to get. Back at 3. Hey, are you tired and broke from going to those overpriced sports bars with $18 martinis and $20 burgers? Well, head over to Riveters, now the official sports bar and grill of the J.P. Peterson Show. I love the atmosphere. It's uniquely nostalgic American, recalling the days of Rosie the Riveter. The staff is incredibly friendly and welcoming in a laid-back, casual indoor-outdoor setting. And check out the reviews, and you'll hear this. Best Reuben sandwich ever. Amazing wings, burgers, and prime rib. The welcome you get when you walk in is incredible. The staff will call you by name. You're not just customers. You're really part of the family. So go say hello to Maha, Taylor, Serena, May, Courtney, Jamie, Christina, Lauren. Tell them JP sent you. This is a real sports bar, and we love our home teams. And they're playing the games on the TVs all the time. You won't have to ask to put the Lightning, the Rays, the Bucs, or the Rowdies on. They do the UFC fights for free, no cover. Big screens and TVs everywhere. It's the place to watch sports in Tampa. Great fresh food, amazing staff, great drinks, insane happy hour, 3 to 7 every day. Race season is here, so make sure you stop by Riveters before or after the game. It's just north of 275 on Dale Mabry, just south of Steinbrenner Field. See you at Riveters. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays!
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing and AC. Hey, make sure your unit is prepared for the hot summer. That AC unit I'm talking about, get the tune-up. No, not the Cialis. We're talking about check all those drain lines, get your drain lines cleared. What the hell's going on here? I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I don't know if you could tell, Timmy.
Sounds like you had quite a bit of brewskis last night too.
Yeah, we had a few pops last night. I think five IPAs is a little much.
What's baseball without beer though? I mean, come on.
$17 for the big IPA, by the way.
Wow, and you had 25 of them.
ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com is where you go though to get your unit tuned up for summer, because they've got a great deal going on right now. So go to ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com, have them come on over, service your unit. They will service your unit and make sure you're ready for the summer. So get it done, ladies. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com is where you go to get that done. Tell them JP sent you. All right, we got hockey tonight, my friend. Back in the building after my time away. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a couple of weeks. I missed the last couple of games as I went to see my niece get married in San Antonio. Congratulations, Somerset and Tyler. They had a great wedding, by the way. It was really cool. Got to see my dad, my 93-year-old dad, who is just hilarious. Yeah, we took him to the Riverwalk and got him a nice big cheeseburger and a big fat beer, and he absolutely loved it. Had the mariachi band come over and sing him Guantanamera. They took me for $20. So that was fun. Then we did a little skiing. But it's good to be back in the building tonight. And things are heating up, my friends. Last night, the Panthers beat the Maple Leafs. And tonight, the Maple Leafs are in the building, and they are going to play for first place tonight. And how important is that? I think it's absolutely important to win the division because you want to have those first 2 games at home. It's just the Lightning have not been great on the road this year. So the one thing you can't do in these series, you can't go down 0-2. You cannot go down 0-2. I don't want to go up to Toronto and play 2 games up there or booing our national anthem or whatever the heck's going to go on up there. And, and it's a hostile environment. And the Lightning have not played well on the road. They're 500 on the road. They're the second best. They have the second best home record, actually maybe the best home record now after last night's Dallas fiasco that Tim talked about when they lost. They were up 5-2 with 1:12 to play and lost in overtime to Vancouver.
Yep.
So they may have the best home record since January 1st. So they've been playing great at home. Go ahead and finish it out. They've got 4 games left now. So tonight could very well decide first place. And, I expected, number one, it's going to be an incredible crowd tonight in Amalie Arena. It's going to be nuts. And then I expect the Lightning to come out. They're coming off that 5-1 win over the Rangers. I think they're going to, I would hope that they play one of their best games of the year. I think they've been waiting for the playoffs to get here. This is kind of a playoff game. And I don't know if Cooper's telling them, hey, listen, we want to win the division. We want to, he's very process oriented, right? As he should be.
Yeah.
I don't know how important it is to him. In the years past, he's kind of poo-pooed it, but this is a different team. I think they've been a better road team during the years that they won the Stanley Cup. So listen, get those game 7s at home, get those first 2 games at home, get a great start, and especially with 2 first-round exits as a road team the last couple of years, I think it's important to change the dynamic and play at home. And the hockey playoffs start in 10 days. So
God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible. I think the Lightning are gonna make a long run, but you got to start now, and you got to get I want to see him win the Atlantic. I want to see him win the Atlantic and get because at that point you're gonna have home ice advantage, except when you play the Caps, and you may not play the Caps. The Caps may get upset before you even see them, and then
they've been distracted by a little something over the past few weeks.
You think?
So I mean, good for them, but they're playing well.
And congrats to Ovi. That was really cool. But they've played well, but they're not playoff tested. They're not a playoff tested team. So I love the Lightning's chances tonight. Now I'm very much looking forward to seeing what goes down this evening as the Maple Leafs come in town. Not only that, they're playing a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Obviously, they played last night against the Panthers, which is never easy. And they lost. What was it, 3-1 last night?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was, yeah. So be there tonight. I believe it's a 7:00 puck drop.
Let me throw this at you, JP,
Yes,
on the Lightning and their record
Mm-hmm.
on the road. So on the road currently, they are 18-18-4.
Yeah.
All right, you're 500. You have one game left.
Or worse
on the
than
road.
500. Yeah.
It is the final game of the season at Madison Square Garden. Is there a stigma? Obviously you want to win because you're in the playoff hunt, and those 2 points could mean something. I mean, obviously that's on the table. But if you lose that game, you have an under 500 season on the road. Okay, on your record, you'd be 18-19-4. And I think that's a storyline going into the playoffs. Any series that you were on the road to start the series, then I think that's a storyline for people that, man, this team was under 500. Yeah, it was just a game, but if you win that game over the Rangers, that's off the table. That's, look, they were only one game over 500 on. Yeah, but you were over 500. So to me, that's a stigma. That's a talking point, and I think it could bleed over into sort of being a point for the team. That, man, we lost more on the road than we won. Now here we are, on the road for the series or whatever, and it would be deep in the playoffs. But if you get there, I think it's important that you go into that game knowing your situation, and still that game's 4 games away. I get it, but
right.
I think that's something that you think about. You got to take care of these 4 you have at home first.
Right.
Toronto, Detroit, Buffalo, and Florida. So, by the way, I've watched a couple of Florida Panthers games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not impressed.
They're out of sorts.
They
They're
are.
out of sorts. They're not the team that we saw last year. Not even close. Marshawn, not playing great.
Yeah.
Kachuk is still out. Ekblad's still out.
Yep.
No, they're not playing great. Maybe they're a little bored, just waiting to get to the playoffs. That happens too.
Yeah.
So.
But you better hope you can come out of that boredom really quick then and turn on the light switch.
Well, they beat the Leafs last night, so maybe something's clicking.
Yeah, I watched that game last night. Yeah.
And you weren't impressed by the Panthers?
Wasn't impressed by the Panthers last night at all.
Interesting.
Nope.
This from our lightninginsider.com. Eric Erlinson said at morning skate for hosting Toronto tonight. Gensel, Point, Kucherov back together again.
Oh.
Hagel, Sorelli, Gonsalves on the second line. Bjorkstrand, Gord, and Paul on your third line. Gergensen, Glendening, Chafee, Atkinson. So all four of those guys working on the fourth line. Hedman and Moser. McDonough, Chernak, and Lilleberg, Perbix, Radish. So nothing out of the ordinary. I think this is probably where they're going to settle at for the playoffs for the most part. And I like it. I like where the Lightning are right now. Really do.
So stoked for freaking. And this is my favorite time of year. Look, I know it's Masters week, and I've discussed that. We're in full swing for baseball season. We're over a week into baseball season, which is amazing for me. It's my second favorite sport. But it also means we're a week out of the NHL playoffs. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here.
Yeah.
And I took a stroll down memory lane last night late while I was still watching Leafs and Panthers. JP, I don't know if you saw that I posted on my Facebook page about my 1993 Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup run.
Yeah.
I found a YouTube video that kind of chronicled the last week of their season and then their playoff run.
Oh, nice.
And I forgot they were down 2-0 in the first round and had to come back and sweep. They ended up winning, I think, 11 straight games.
Wow.
In the postseason to get into contention and into the conference finals. And just reliving a lot of that. My buddy Kirk Muller on that team. And of course, Patrick Waugh in goal still. And before his meltdown. And, it just gave me goosebumps. And of course, as I noted in my post, the very next season is when the Stars moved to Dallas for the 93-94 season. So that was really the last year that the Canadiens had all of my hockey attention.
How about
right?
that?
And that I could offer them. And it was hard in Dallas to keep up with Montreal, right? I had to subscribe to a Canadian magazine that my dad hated. He's, why are we getting this crap here? We're not there anymore. I'm like, Dad, I've got to follow my hockey team.
Got to follow my hockey team. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, it was he never understood my love of hockey at all. But poor country kid from West Texas. But it was just cool to relive some of that, from I was 22 years old at the time, 23 at the time. And thinking about that was my last year before the Stars moved here and really took the majority of my fandom for a long time. And, was kind of cool to relive a lot of that, but it got me geared up for NHL playoff hockey, man.
Yeah, I can't. I've lived so much of the, of that with this Lightning team for so long. It's a absolute tradition here, and we talked about this the other day. The Lightning since 2015 have played 48 more playoff games than the next highest team. I mean, that's just an insane number. Yeah. That's an insane dynastic era for the Lightning. 2 cups, 4 finals. I mean, they've been, and it's not that easy, folks. It's not that easy to do it, obviously, by the numbers. And they've won, I think, 38 more playoff games than the second most. It's just incredible. So this is a rite of passage for Lightning fans, and we can't wait. We cannot wait. The building's going to be packed. And, I think having 2 years of first round flameouts have maybe rekindled the flame a little bit for Lightning fans because we were spoiled. We were spoiled. And we want to win again. I think we really, really want to win. I think this team wants to win again. I think it has what it takes to go out there and make it happen. Whether they can win the whole thing, I don't know. I got to stay healthy. And I think you're going to have guys like, Gonsalves be sneaky good, not lead your team, but, chip in with 7-8 goals during the run. Yanni Gord, as David Terry said here, keep an eye on Yanni Gord now that the monkey is off his back. Yeah, he got that first goal the other night at New York. Would love to see Yanni chip in with 7, 8, 9 goals during the playoffs. If you get to the finals,
Right.
And we always say that depth scoring is something that you want to see. Who's it going to be? Yanni Gordon would be great. Absolutely. Could it be Bjorkstrand? Bjorkstrand has not been, I'm not going to say that he hasn't delivered, but I think the Lightning would probably want a little bit more production from him and Yanni Gordon coming into the playoffs. And I think they're the type of players that can do that too. So we shall see tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop at Amalie Arena. Do not miss it. You can still get tickets too. Go in the secondary market. Not as bad as you think.
Maybe cheaper than a Rays ticket.
Yeah, for most games. Cody says the Pittsburgh Pirates owner is under pressure to sell the team as well. Baseball fans are tired of these excuses about being a small market. NFL, NHL doesn't have this problem. Yeah, because they have salary caps and don't need salary floors. Baseball needs a salary floor because of these owners, these cheap owners that just want to put the money in their pocket. They're getting revenue. They're getting revenue from Major League Baseball. They're getting revenue sharing. They get all kinds of stuff. So go spend the damn money on the players like you should be doing.
And speaking of tickets, JP, I failed to mention when I talked about the return of Luka to the AAC here in Dallas tonight, the average price for a ticket, the average price for our 18,500 seat basketball configuration arena, $575.
Wow.
Which is about 2.5 times more than the normal average price for a regular season game.
It's an event.
Screw you, Luka.
So what are they going to do? Are they going to cheer him and boo their own team?
So here's what I hope. Look, I talk about hating. I don't hate Luka. Look, I know what he is, and I think he's an amazing player and all that. Just don't think he was a good fit for the franchise in Dallas. And everyone tries to compare him to Dirk Nowitzki, and he'll never be a Dirk Nowitzki here in Dallas, right? Played 21 years here and was an actual contributor to the team. Here's what I hope happens. I hope, and I guarantee you, Nico Harrison will not be down in his normal seats. He probably won't even be in the building, probably. But I hope when Luka comes out, and I know they will, the fans are going to cheer him. They'll probably cheer every shot that he takes. And what I really hope happens is that the Mavericks do a nice little arena tribute to him on screen and do something like that at halftime or before the game. Hopefully he's on court, he can see it. So maybe before the game during the shoot around or something, and they just get it out of the way, and then we can all just move on with basketball, and then I hope the Mavericks win 120 to 110, where it's close, but not too close, and the Lakers lose. And I hope Luka twists his ankle in the fourth quarter and is out for the season.
Knew that was coming. $500 a ticket. Wow. Drew Lang says if Meade can't hit left-handed pitching, get him off the team. Yeah, listen, spring training means nothing, guys. So he gained a lot of weight. Wink, wink. He had a great spring start, and now he's done nothing in the regular season. How long are we going to wait? I mean, but who are you going to bring up? Like, so frustrating talking about the Rays, Jeff Stutler says Tucker may be as bad as the Tigers trading for Juan Gonzalez when they moved into Comerica Park, and he would have been a better fit at Tiger Stadium, which was made for another like him. That's true. I mean,
former Texas Ranger, great.
If we're going to design the stadium, if let's just say, if the new owners were to take over this year, and they signed Kyle Tucker. Well, they're still in the process of designing the stadium. Move that right field porch in a little bit.
That's what the Rangers did in '94 when they were designing the ballpark in Arlington. You had Juan Gonzalez, you had Pudge Rodriguez, and then you had Rafael Palmeiro at first. Now Rafael Palmeiro that season would go to Baltimore, and the Rangers brought in Will Clark, so you had another lefty. But they designed that right field porch for Juan and for Pudge to hit, and that was amazing, dude.
Weren't they both right-handers though? Pudge.
I'm sorry, the left field, the left field.
Okay.
But dude, it was that was quite a team.
That was I was a Rangers fan growing up. They was they were my American League team because they were the first major league ballpark I saw driving on I-10 from Florida to Las Vegas. That's the Ranger Stadium, their original stadium. It was right off of I-10, I believe.
I-30.
I-30. Yes,
Yeah,
I-30.
yeah. Now we got 3 of them right there.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah, so you could, if you sign Kyle Tucker, where they have the Crawford boxes in Houston, we'll have the Tucker boxes in Tampa. I like that.
Dude, that would be amazing. They would do that for a guy like him.
Why wouldn't you? If you're going to sign a guy, left-handed slugger, and you still have to design,
be successful.
You're still going to design the stadium. Why wouldn't you? The Yankees did it, basically. Rick says that Denver coach called the owner worse than Stu. Did he really? No wonder he got shy-canned.
Did he say those words? That was the quote.
You're worse than Stu. He knew exactly what he's talking about. John Hill says Stu is sitting to your left, 2 sections over. Was he? Well, did he hear me yell, "Sell the team"? I did get a couple of players look back when I did that because they were right there, and they were like, "Yeah, sell the team."
Yeah, please.
No, they did, but they should have. Michael Sorger says, wish the draft will start soon. Soon enough. 2.5 weeks, right? 2.5 weeks. We got till we all get into Green Bay.
Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow.
Don't worry, JP. They'll trade Diaz at the deadline. Who wants him? He's making $10 million a year. How are you going to trade a guy that's making? Who wants him? Trust me, they've tried to trade him. Yeah, I guarantee you they've tried to trade him. Absolutely.
I might be stuck with Diaz like we're stuck with Dak.
Yeah. Simply put, the Rays are a minor league team playing in a minor league park with a minor league owner charging major league prices. Until they are a salary cap, this league is a joke.
Oh, Lee. I don't agree with all of that.
Well, I mean, the Rays are a minor league team.
Don't agree with that.
Well, their pitching staff is big league. The rest of them are mostly minor leaguers. So I
don't agree that it's a minor league park.
No, it's not a minor league park. It's it's a major league quality park, except for the amount of seats and the lights.
The lights.
Maybe not me, but they do have a minor league owner, and they are charging major league prices. So he's 4 for 5, which is way better than the Rays. So yeah, I would agree with a lot of that, Lee. So yeah. Nathan Elliott says, join us at Riveters on April 24th prior to the NFL draft party. We will be there draft gating. We'll be there at 4 when they get over to RJS by 6. Riveters is a sponsor of the JP Peterson Show. You are correct, sir. You are absolutely correct. So yes, we will be over there at Riveters. I'll come join you, Nathan. Yep, I'll be there. Maybe maybe we'll do a remote that day. I'll put that down. April, because we got to schedule 4 remotes in April at Riveters. Timmy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that definitely should be one of them. Faux show. What else we got in here? Christopher Cole says reports are that he gave the Cubs a deadline of the All-Star break to get an extension done. Well, we'll get his agent Jason Romano on to see if that is actually true. Sounds about right. All right, that's most of our comments there. So appreciate you guys jumping in here. Let's take another break. We got Johnny Gerber coming up to give us his picks from the Masters. So we look forward to that. And don't forget, folks, Cafe Paradiso is the place to go if you're on a hot date. Got a hot date. I'm going to take her tonight, the white tablecloth, but not stuffy. Not stuffy at Cafe Paradiso. It's very, very wonderful atmosphere. I love the service there. The waiters all have great Italian accents because they're from Italy.
Our waiter was the greatest waiter I've ever had anywhere, man.
What was his name?
Night. I can't remember his name.
He was great. He was fantastic.
And he'd been there 27 years.
Yeah, it's that type of place. Cafe Paradiso is that type of place. You feel like you're sitting in the middle of Rome. The food is fantastic. It's great traditional. Chicken marsala is one of my favorites. The veal parmesan, the lasagna, and of course they got the branzino, which is a sea bass. Incredible stuff. Cafe Paradiso. Get your reservations now on Open Table. Number 3 on Open Table. And tell them JP sent you. Back at 3.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Cafe Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Summer is coming. Do not get caught with your unit unprepared. Your AC unit, of course. The awesome folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC have a special going on right now. You get a free 1-year maintenance package with any purchase of a new unit. They have special 60-month financing as well, so you don't need a huge chunk up front. Third Generation has an impeccable reputation built over 30 years of doing business. They do plumbing, AC, mechanical work, anything you need around the house. They are trusted folks. Go to the website and read the 5-star reviews. Deidre said, great company that always arrives timely. We have used them for our AC both in home and business and have been very happy. The staff is knowledgeable and professional. I would recommend Third Generation again and again. So give Third Generation a call at 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this, it's a Masters Wednesday, is it not? R3 Masters Wednesday.
Yes.
Scotty Scheffler is your betting favorite. Plus 400 to repeat.
Scotty Scheffler. Which I don't know why. He hasn't really played a lot of these seasons. He hasn't been good. He's been hurt to start the year.
He's been okay.
Rory should be the favorite here. I mean, I don't care one way or the other, but it just seems odd to me that Rory's not the favorite.
Because everybody knows he's going to choke.
Well, everybody knows Scotty's still got his hand herpes, so.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, I want to remind you, Gold and Diamond Source, it's April, and that means, it's Diamond Month. It's the birthstone of April is diamonds. And you can get 20% off all the diamonds at the Gold and Diamond Source. And don't forget, your diamond never loses its value at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can bring it back, get exactly what you paid, and trade it in for a bigger one. So you can upgrade. So if you're just starting off in life, you can get a nice diamond for, if you want to spend $5,000, you can do 0% interest. It costs you $83 a month to get that nice. You get a really nice diamond for $5,000. And then if you want to, you start making a little bit more money, you want to surprise your honey and upgrade it, you bring it back, you get exactly what you paid for it on the trade-in, and then you buy something bigger. So it's a cool deal, and it's only at the Gold and Diamond Source. Go check them out over there, 3800 Overton Road, always online at the goldendiamondsource.com. All right, let's welcome in the man, the myth, our PGA pro, the great John Gerber, to give us his Masters picks. Hello, friend.
Good morning, fellas. What a great week. Masters week. How about that, JP? Masters. I know I see your excitement because you're a golfer, and Tim says he says he's a golfer, and I like the excitement. And the cool thing about the Masters is, even though if you're just a casual golf fan, this is the week, right? This is the week.
Everybody knows Augusta.
Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Kentucky Derby or the Super Bowl or things like that. It's just one of those iconic events that everybody just kind of loves and is just excited for. And I certainly feel the same way.
Well, you're a big deal. Have you ever played at Augusta?
Yeah, I played 3 times Augusta. I played there 3 times. I have a friend that's a member. So it's been a long time since I've played there, but been out there quite a bit in terms of, we're very lucky as PJ members. We get a complimentary ticket every single year, which is great.
Wow.
So we can go out there. Yeah. And, haven't really been there yet as part of the media. So hopefully maybe next year we can, we can all go out there as a group. How about we do a little live broadcast?
Oh, they would love to have us out there. I'll have to talk to Mr. Ridley about that. Yes, absolutely.
It'll be either great, the best week we've ever had, or they'll kick us out in 5 minutes. So we'll see.
Probably the latter. Probably the latter.
Probably.
If we bring Tim,
I should probably just stay home for that. Not even.
There's me and you, Gerbs. I think we'd be able to fool them. But if
I agree. And Tim, we'll go for the practice round. And Tim, a practice round means practice for the players, not for you.
I'm bringing my 7-iron.
Did you hear the story about the guy that's probably been 15, 20 years ago that got practice round tickets that brought his golf clubs?
Yes.
That wasn't that long ago because we covered it on the show.
And there's a picture of the dude. He's got his cart with him, like his walking cart.
Yeah. That's the greatest. That's
misunderstood.
One of the greatest stories ever.
Wait! I got a practice round ticket. Not for you, my friend. You get to watch practice. Is it because I don't think there's any other golf tournament that sells practice round tickets, do they?
Well, you can usually buy like a tournament. You can buy like a pass through the week or individual single passes, but it certainly doesn't have the magnitude what it does at Augusta. And, you also got to realize you're looking at such a shorter field, 95 players playing this year. I don't know if that includes VJ who withdrew, but it's not as crowded in terms of, players, and, you don't normally have 144 players or 146 players. It just depends. So it's almost not double, but pretty close to being double. And it's so much more crowded for the field, but players wise, it certainly gives the audience and the spectators a little bit more access to the players itself. So that makes it a little bit cool also.
Yeah. I think they used to hold it back to 30,000 tickets total per day. I think it's up to probably more. I don't know if they even released the numbers that they are now, but it's probably way more than that. Not way more, but.
Yeah, I mean, I would surprise me if it's more than 40,000 a day. It's just because they don't need it, right? I mean, you're looking at one of the most powerful entities in golf itself, and certainly in the betting aspect of it. The Masters betting is kind of was the first event that kind of really propelled golf betting in the United States because there's so many opportunities. For more than any other tournament, you can bet, top European, top Asian. You can't really do that in most PGA Tour events. And you look about other places in the world that they bet on golf for a long time now. But the Masters is really kind of the
everybody has a Masters pool too, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
like
just
a tournament.
It's just one of those things, and it's one of the biggest betting sporting events in the world. It really is. I mean, you take, people say the NCAA tournament, but you look at besides the United States, the European people and the people that live in England, they're not betting a lot on the NCAA tournament. Not like they do for the Masters. It's just not really, basketball is not really that as popular. Super Bowl is one thing. Obviously, that's number one betting event in the world, but the Masters is certainly the top 5, and it's really helped propel all golf betting. And you said it earlier in the show, JP. I mean, it just makes it more exciting. Right? I mean, more than anything else. I mean, you can bet. Yeah. I mean, look what you did at Valspar. How cool is that? You sit in a hospitality tent and betting interactively on, who's going to get it closest to the hole. I know you did that with your buddies, but you can actually bet that on the sports app. You can.
Can you really?
Yeah, so 100% you can. So it's over the past couple of years, it's got super interactive. You can bet who hits the longest tee ball per hole per threesome. So, it's come a long way in golf betting. I don't really dabble with that. I mean, I have my hands full what we do already from a week to week basis. To jump in that realm is just a little bit too much for me, but it's certainly made it more interesting in terms of golf for the general public.
I kind of feel bad though, because, I follow golf a lot more than say my man, Scotty Fitz. So we're there, sitting in the Hooters tent, and we got a group coming up.
Easy money.
And I'm like, I kind of know who's who can really hit their irons close, and he really doesn't. And I'm like, I'm going to take this guy closest to the pin, and he goes, okay, I'll take the other guy.
JP's all playing it cool, like the guy in the blue, whatever his name is. I don't even know who that is. I'll take him.
Yeah, I don't know who's that, Tiger Woods or whatever. I don't know what his name is. But I'll take that guy, and then I take his money, and that, there's maybe a half a second that I feel bad about it, but then I get over it really quickly, and I just take his money.
And you said the more he has to drink, the easier it is.
What's even worse is I get him drunk on the free beer at the Hooters tent. And now he's just just betting like a drunken sailor. And,
be careful of the guys that you bet in golf that knows the whole bio about the player, right? Where he's from, how old he is, things like that, how many cuts he's missed on the pitch. That's a sure sign that this guy's hustling you.
He may have an edge on you, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Scotty. I bought him a beer anyway, so it's all fair.
Yeah. With his money. You're a gentleman. With his money, you're a gentleman, JP.
Bought him free beer.
That's what I do. All right, let's get into it. Scotty is the top choice according to Vegas. McIlroy is not far behind at 13-2. John Rahm at 14-1. Colin Morikawa, your buddy and mine, at 16-1, and Ludwig Oberg at 18-1, and Schauffele at 20-1. DeChambeau at 20-1. All right, let's get into your picks though. Who do you like? Let's show it. There. Yeah,
I mean, I jumped around this. Listen, this is an event you can kind of eliminate 30% of the field, and we'll talk about this all day, all week. Like, listen, there's no amateur that's ever won, so the amateurs in the field you can almost cut out. Out of 95 players, you can. It's just kind of like a poker table, right? If you can't spot the sucker at the poker table, then you are the sucker. That's just the way it is. So golf, it's a little bit like this at the Masters. I mean, if you look at you're not first time guys it's played in the Masters. Only one's done it in this modern era, Fuzzy Zeller, and I don't consider the other two. I think it was Horton Smith and Sam Snead. That was but there was only like 7 people in the field those years. So I mean, you can't really count that.
Golf history, man.
Yeah, I'd love golf history, but that's listen. I know Gene Saracen made the sand wedge, and he saves me a lot, so I can appreciate that. So you can cut those guys out. So if you look at the cocoon sector, which is the guys that are like 50, 55 over, we'll call them the cocoons, like the movie, waiting for the spaceship. They're out. So you look at guys like that. Now, if you want to throw for fun, throw somebody in the top 20, like a Phil or something like that. Yeah, maybe. But for the most part, they're out. So you really have a pool of 50 guys that really can win this golf tournament. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of how I look down. My first pick on the board is Koepka, 30-1. And here's why. I'll tell you why. I was forced to watch live golf last week in Miami. Just because there was a couple guys in the field that I liked. That, if you watched any of it, I know Tim didn't. Have you seen what DJ looks like? I mean, he's having fun in West Palm Beach because he's not playing any golf. I mean, no, he's he's a big guy anyways, but he's had a few beers down there in West Palm.
He's got a pooch.
Yeah. And like I said, but doesn't this look like a perfect spot for Koepka? I mean, just that lion that's sitting in the weeds, right, ready to pounce. No one's talking about him. This is what he loves. He's not doing a bunch of press conferences, things like that. He
still have his frosted tips.
Well, you can't tell because he's going to wear a hat, but you just never know with Brooks.
Still have his gold digger wife.
I think it's cheaper to keep her at this point. So, I think he's going to stick around with that thing for a little while, but I love Koepka's spot. I really do at 30-1 under the radar, competition. If there's any guy that can bring his own self competition to it and take away from the live, the 54 holes, this is the guy to do it. I think he wants to prove something.
He knows he has a great long chance, right? And play 4 rounds.
What's that?
When's the last time he played 72 holes?
Yeah.
Probably back in West Palm when he's playing a money game or something. I don't really know, but I think for a guy like that, it doesn't matter. And he might be the only guy that plays in the live that really doesn't matter.
I agree.
I think he's healthy. And I really think he wants to prove something. And I think he's trying to weed his way back on the PGA Tour a little bit, probably more than most guys. You can hear him talk about it. So, I like him in this spot. And look, Jordan Spieth at 35-1. I love the way he's trending. Anybody that, listen, there's a reason why there's multiple winners at this tournament because there takes a lot of course knowledge. and a lot of, familiarity. He hits it plenty far enough. And I think you were shocked when you were at Valspar to say, I think you mentioned something, how big he is and how far he hits it. Like Jordan Spieth's not a small guy, and he's not a short hitter. And with the way he puts the golf ball at 35-1, I think there's value, especially the way he's playing. He plays solid at Valspar.
Has he been in the fire though, Johnny? It's been a long time since he's really been on, down the stretch in the fire though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, but that's just what he does. He'll jump out at you. I mean, if you look at his spurt when he won in San Antonio, Valero going into a couple years ago, going into the Masters, he hadn't won in over a year. That's just Jordan Spieth. But with a guy that has that, his short game is so good. All he has to do is keep it inside those white stakes at Augusta, which is pretty easy to do. And he's going to have a chance as good as he is on the greens. So I like him in that spot with value at 35-1. And another guy with great value at 40-1, Russell Henley. He's top 5 on the PGA Tour in all around strokes gains. That's driving, strokes gains to the greens, putting, and short game. So he's top 5 there, especially the year that he has. He hits it plenty far, and he's always had a tendency to play well there. He just hasn't got over the threshold and over the hurdle to win a major championship. He plays well here. He likes it. He's from Georgia, right? So that helps with this type of terrain and this type of grass. So I like him there. Our long shot ham sandwich spot, Will Zalatoris at 60-1.
That's a good price.
He's had success there.
Yeah.
He's healthy. He hits it plenty far. And, that I would normally say for the guys that switched from the long putter. I mean, there's 2 guys that's won the Masters with the long putter, Vijay Singh and Adam Scott. If there was anything that could fix a guy, which I don't want guys to go to the long putter, Will Zalatoris was that guy. I mean, the way he was putting with the short putter, man, that was something hard to watch. It was like almost reverse of Billy Mayfair. If you remember Billy Mayfair, he had that figure 8 with his putting stroke, and it was gross. And Zalatoris had the woogie boogies, man, with that thing. So I think if you look at his stroke in terms of a technical aspect, that long putter has helped him a ton. And I like him, great value at 60-1. Don't be surprised if he's contending. That's a great point you made, JP, is he hasn't been in the fray for a while. So if he gets in that spot, let's see how he kind of, contends and things like that. But I know he's not scared of the moment, and he can hit it far enough. 2 top 10s. I like Keegan Bradley at plus 650. I think between now and the U.S. Open, he's played well this year. I think he's really going to be focused on golf. And I think after the U.S. Open, I think he's going to focus his mind to the Ryder Cup. So I think he's got a little bit of a stretch here, probably over the next 6 weeks. He really wants to focus on playing golf. And I like him at 650, especially the year he has. He hits it plenty far. He's not going to be scared of the moment. And I like him. Adam Scott plus 775 also. He's a guy that I think he's got 1 or 2 really good years left. He hits it still plenty far. He's in good shape, and he's been working on his game. He's self-admittingly saying, listen, I know I got very few chances left. Right. In a golf course that he's very familiar with, that he's won. I think he's going to feel comfortable there. And I think the way he hits the ball high and far, especially off the tee, he's going to have a good opportunity. I don't know if he can win. Wouldn't surprise him if he's up there, but definitely top 10. I like him in the spot. 2 top 20 picks this week. Justin Rose plus 250. If he can stay away from the shanks, he's going to have a good opportunity. I mean, he hit 2 off the tube last week and it scared me a little bit. But other than that, his bounce back, every time he hit it off the tube and shanked it, he came back with a birdie. So that helps him. I mean, and he always plays well at Augusta. You look at a guy that's had great success there. Yeah. Plus 250, sit in the top 20. I like him there. I think he wants to make a push, to make sure he's solidified on that Ryder Cup team. And I think this stretch that he has, 3 majors in the next 2 months, I think he's going to get those points. And I think it's a great spot for him to get some points, especially with the short field. And Lucas Glover plus 330. He's had a couple weeks off.
Played well, yeah.
He's played fantastic this year. And another guy that you look, maybe going to vie for that Ryder Cup spot. Listen, here's why I say that is his U.S. Open win was at Bethpage.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Ryder Cups at Bethpage. And what a guy to have on a team that, is playing well. I think he's going to continue to play well. And I think this year's Ryder Cup team is going to be full with some younger guys that he can mentor a little bit. And coming up to go up there at Bethpage, where he's had some success in the U.S. Open, I think he continues to play well for the rest of the year. I think he plays well this week. And don't be surprised if he solidifies himself on that Ryder Cup team.
All right, partner. There you see it. Koepka 30-1. You took it away from me as I was reading it.
Did he eat it again? Sorry.
That's okay. I was gonna recap. I was gonna do the professional recap. Spieth at 35-1. Henley at 40-1. There's your ham sandwich. I really like Zalatoris. I might throw a little bit of money on him to win. Yeah. Keegan Bradley, Adam Scott. And by the way, Johnny, tell the folks, are you doing matchups this weekend as well?
Yeah. Yeah, if we like, we should do some matchups. We won. We were 1-0 in matchups last week. We're 21-5-3 on our matchup record.
I love
so
the
that's great. And we are after our win 2 weeks ago, we had Minwoo Lee winning the Houston tournament, and we did have a top 10 matchup that we won with Maverick McNeely. He's been doing well for us. We are plus 2460 for the year in profit.
Dang.
Ahead of where we were last year going into the Masters, and we ended up over $6,000 in profit. So we're ahead of the curve that we were last year. This is where we kind of hit our stride. But 21-5-3 on our matchups. We only had one matchup this week because just the weather. We had some rain delays there. Those are tough. Playing in threesomes, those are tough to have some matchups. But we love our matchup record, and I will have some matchup this weekend. Doesn't look like the weather is going to be bad like it was on Monday. But we will have some matchups, what I love.
Okay, so everybody follow
Augusta.
Follow John Gerber, PGA Pro on X, and get all those picks. So I retweet all your stuff too, so you can get it there.
Yep.
But give him a follow.
And don't forget, From the Rough, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, right here on FanStream Sports for the full 2 hour show, Masters recap with
4 o'clock today. We're at 4 o'clock today.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 4 o'clock because it's an early 2 hour show. 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern on FanStreamSports.com on our YouTube channels. JP will be on yours as well.
Yes.
All across the map on FanStream Sports, and then later the same day wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, and make some money this week with the great Johnny Gerber. This is where he gets hot. He's in his. This is where don't follow him early in the year. He's just warming up. It's like he's on the range. But now it's time to tee it up, and he's ready to go.
That's right.
Ready to go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
All right, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, guys, have a great Masters week. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. He's killing it. He's killing it all year this year.
That's what he does.
Get into March. It's time to make some money with Johnny Gerber. Absolutely. All right. Anything else we missed today, partner?
Well, I don't know. We've covered just about everything today. It's been a great show, man.
Yeah. Cannot wait for a little hockey action tonight. Any other comments we need to get to now? B's being mean this morning.
He is being mean. I don't know. Did he break a tooth or something? I don't know why he's so cranky today.
Yeah. I don't know. Stu probably bought him a couple beers last night or something. I don't know what it was.
Come on, B. Be nice.
Yeah. So big thanks to friend of the show, Jack Hannon, for getting our tickets last night. 7 rows up behind the dugout. That was really sweet. With Michael, the Cowboy from the Lightning game.
Surprised we haven't had him on.
Really fun. He's not a big talker. Not a big talker. Not a big talker at all. But a lot of fun. It's a great atmosphere. Highly recommend everybody go out there and get your tickets. Ticket prices have come down on the secondary market, especially. So they're much more affordable. It's an amazing, and it may only be for 1 year. I know, we've talked about this, that they have contingencies to be there next year as well. But I think, as far as we know, they're going forward with this Trop thing. I'm still very dubious that they'll ever actually spend the money to do it, but we'll see. I think there's probably some settlement talks going on, because how in the hell can you go backwards to Tropicana Field after playing at Steinbrenner? I don't know.
I just don't understand. I know you've covered this. I don't understand how they came up with their figure to repair the Trop. It's got to be 3 times what that estimate was, because we're not just talking about the roof. All right, repairing the roof. There's got to be other structural damage, because that thing has now been exposed to the weather for how many months now? Internally, that stadium was not built for drainage. A lot of people are like, why don't they just play it without the roof? That's not how it's not how it works. All right, that the internal of the stadium or the guts were not made for drainage and to have rain and weather and things like that. So I just don't know how they came up with that figure. But you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's $22.5 million supposedly their portion of it to fix the roof, and then they feel like they can get that done by December, which with all the rain in the summertime, I don't know. They said they built that in, but we'll see. How much more are all the costs going to be? Then they have to approve the audio visual stuff, the new field that they have to put down. And then, as the people that toured it last week said, there was a very strong mold odor. Sometimes those are absolutely impossible to get out, especially with a building of that size.
Are those aren't cushioned seats, right? I mean, they're just the regular plastic seats. Yeah. So I'm wondering, and the field was ripped out ages ago. So I'm just wondering what. Yeah. Huh, and
they've got tarps up over most of it. And they're not even going to repair the offices. That was all the offices. The owner's too cheap to go actually get real offices. So they had their offices at the Tropicana Field. Now I guess they've had to move them now. So they're not going to redo the offices. It seems like a lot. And then you're just going to wreck it 2 years later.
Seems like a bad plan.
Yeah. Well, it's not my money, so
nope.
It's all good. All good. All right.
That's what we mentioned too.
We mentioned. Isn't that funny though? Like you would, the hurricane hit in the city where we're your partner with. Let's we're definitely going to put some money in to repair it, and make it great. No, haven't heard that yet.
No,
haven't heard that yet.
Commitment.
No. Anything else? I'm just looking for some breaking news here. No. Luka Doncic's emotional return to Dallas.
Give me a break.
Right. Cam Smith's suit jacket warm up at this Masters sparks discussion.
Yeah. Did you see this? When he was hitting off he was in a full blazer and his, full golfing outfit with his, his golf shirt and his pants and whatever. But he had like a blazer, and it wasn't obviously a Masters blazer, but just like a full blown
blazer,
crested blazer, and he's out there hitting balls in his blazer. Like, what? Everybody was very curious about what was
actually a suit. It's like a suit. It's a pants match it, and he's got the polo on underneath.
Right. An interesting look. I wasn't knocking it. It's just an interesting look.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can't be comfortable to swing in that.
Can I knock it? I'll definitely knock it. Yeah. No, that's about it. All right. Good luck, Cam Smith. Thank you guys for joining us. If you missed anything, you always catch this as a podcast. In fact, go like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Also please subscribe to our YouTube channels, the JP Peterson Show and FanStreamSports.com, and check out our new Twitter. Not new anymore. Yeah, it's not. Hey, we're over 2K. We're back over 2K. So that's
there. You go.
We're back over 2K. Things are popping on the Twitter at JP Peterson Show. We will enjoy your Masters Part 3. We'll be back tomorrow as the Masters is underway. See you then.
I like other guys.